We were right to explore all the options. We'd have been failing in our duty if we hadn't done so. We had a choice. We could easily have made a choice to go for the private sector option, but that was not the best interest of taxpayers. Putting the interests of taxpayers first and the interest of stability, we have come to the right decision.
So there, we've done it. That was the British response. British Prime Minister Gordon Brown defending the decision to nationalize ailing Northern Rock. That country's fifth largest mortgage bank was between a rock and a hard place, hence the government's rescue. But bigger government is never the right answer over private market solutions. That's according to my next guest. John Berlau is the director of the Center for Entrepreneurship in Washington. So you're not encouraged by this, John. Why not?
I am not. They rejected the private offers, and now the British taxpayers are holding the bag for the Northern Rock failure in its entirety, rather than part of Northern Rock's failure. All
right. They said that the Richard Branson bid would have left the taxpayers and holders burnt anyway. So it's just a degree of how burnt, right?
Well, a degree in terms of 50 billion maybe versus 100 billion. I mean, it's hard to see how the taxpayers are better off holding the whole thing. What part of the problem was, and it shows what we are doing some things right in America with the mortgage problems. We're allowing mergers to take place, Bank of America to take over Countrywide, right, and things like layoffs. Whereas there, Brown and his equivalent of the Treasury Secretary, Alistair Darling, and the Northern Rock board, they didn't want layoffs. They wanted Northern Rock's foundation to still.
But John, I'm going to give them. I agree with you, by the way. But I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt on this. That somehow he thinks they saw something that our eyes aren't privy to. That if they didn't do this, there would be even bigger financial hell to pay. What do you make of that?
Well, they, like all politicians, they don't like layoffs. They don't like instability, and I mean those things are painful. But they prefer to have the. I don't see how it's preferable to let the British taxpayer be out for say $100 billion. That's $100 billion in pounds, more than $100 billion, rather than being responsible for just a portion of that.
Well, John, could I give you my? I'm sorry, my friend. I just want to give you my black helicopter theory on this, and I could be totally wrong. You're the expert, but John, I play one on TV, and this is it: that they envisioned a bank run on deposits, not only at Northern Rock, but potentially system-wide if there was growing lack of faith in the British financial system. They must have had, I suspect, anecdotal evidence of that to suggest that people were getting skittish about keeping their money in a bank, much as we were before the 33 bank rescue in this country. What do you make of that maybe, giving them the full benefit of the doubt, and probably they don't deserve it, that's what they saw?
Well, it may be what they saw, but I think they saw it wrongly. It's going to be, there shouldn't be too much faith in banks. People should be careful about the financial institutions, whether it's their mutual fund or their bank.
So why did financial stocks there go up today, John? You're quite right. The British pound did not, as Jonathan Honig pointed out. But the financial stocks went up largely, I suspect, on the belief that if all else fails, mother government is there.
Let's see what happens tomorrow, because as we see here, they can go up one day and down the next day. And also the problem with the British pound and inflation, just like here when Ben Bernanke comes to the rescue, you could see concern of the markets about inflation. So there's no such thing as a free lunch.
All right.
And this increases moral hazard. The shareholders who may lose out on Northern Rock, there was some greed among them themselves. Some speculators bought this after the first loan. And
so my favorite one, John, was that British official, I don't know who he was, who said we had to stop this nonsense immediately. It was very definitive. But John Berlau, thank you very, very much. We'll see how. Maybe tomorrow could be a different day. Well, 15 days that could.